Hello, and thank you for joining me on this video chat series where I chat with people who have created a life that they love. The point of this series is to show you that anything is possible, and I want to do that by talking to other people who have done it and to show you what they've overcome and hopefully impart a little bit of their advice to you on your journey, because I truly believe that anything is possible if you actually put your mind to it and clear the blocks, usually put there by yourself, that are in your way. So I hope that this series inspires you to do something that you've been wanting to do, or to change something, or to get rid of something that doesn't serve you anymore. And maybe it'll help you to create a life that you love. If you're interested in joining the next series of Manifest Me, just jump on my website, have a look, see when the next intake is, as I would love to see you there. Manifestation has been a huge part of my journey, and hopefully it can be a huge part of yours too. Welcome to this episode of the Manifest Me chat series. In this episode, we're talking with Angela McNoe. She is one of my closest friends, and she is a woman who is an inspiration to me. She has lived and traveled all over the world, and she's currently living in Germany. And today we chat about all things moving abroad, what it takes to move abroad, and just how you can start if you want to. And it just makes me happy talking to her. So I hope you enjoy it, and just bear with us. We had a few internet issues during the chat, so I hope you can bear with us and enjoy it. So I'm so excited to introduce our guest today, because for me, I'm not sure even if she knows this story. We met when we were both living in Thailand. We both were living in Phuket at the time. And when I left Australia, I had a great group of friends, and I had said to the universe, okay, I'm going overseas. I really want to have somebody in my life who understands me, who gets me, who understands the woo in me, and it just accepts me for all the crazy that I am. And then when I got to Thailand, I arrived at 7 o'clock at night. It was all just a big chaotic blur. And then I met Angela, and I instantly knew that she was my person. And we worked together on and off for around 2 years. And I very affectionately call her my other half because we did everything together, and we shared so many memories and so many decisions and so many life choices together. So I'm very excited to have her today, but also because I admire her so much. She has lived and traveled around the world. When she decides that she wants to do something, she just goes and makes it happen. And I think that is just incredible. So when I moved to Thailand, I just looked up to her and was like, wow, I've met this woman, and she's just living and traveling and moving around the world and doing everything she loves. And I want to be like her. And we were walking on the beach in Thailand one day, on one of the islands, and she said, but Hayley, this is your life now. This is not temporary. This is what your life is. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, it's true. We made this life happen. And yeah, I think she's amazing. So I just wanted to introduce Angela. Angela is coming to us from Munich in Germany. Hello.
Cold and foggy Munich day today.
Is it? Ooh.
Oh,
A little bit different.
that's all right. Winter is coming. Exactly. So I would like to start by saying the moment that I knew Hayley and I were going to be very good friends for forever. You lost your bike, Hayley. We all had motorbikes in Thailand, and one day Hayley came home and was like, my bike's gone. What do you mean?
Yes.
Nobody steals an old rubbishy motorbike, right? And we were kind of looked around for it, and we couldn't find it. And unbeknownst to us, one of our beautiful neighbours had put Hayley's bike underneath the carport because it was raining, so they had taken care of it for us, but we didn't know that.
Yeah.
And we were like wandering around looking for this bike, and then I said, hi Angels, it's Angela, could you please find Hayley's bike for us? And Hayley just got whiplash, like she moved so fast looking at me. And then that was, I think, the moment that we kind of realized we were on the same sort of level thinking in that regards, and the kind of woo-woo, and it was like it was a very sharp moment in my memory about when I knew that we would absolutely be friends.
Yes.
And I think, thank you for your introduction. I feel like I need a cheerleader. I don't need a cheerleader because I have one now. I shall buy you some pom-poms.
Thank you.
You can introduce me at everything I ever do. That would be wonderful.
But I remember we had a lot of bike stories. We won't go into them all, but I remember there was so many bikes in Thailand, and when you put your bike somewhere, you really have to remember where you put it, because otherwise you won't find it again.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about, again, like I mentioned, I admire you for deciding to live overseas, to deciding to travel, and when you're finished somewhere, you go, okay, well, now I want to go here, and you just make it happen. So I guess I just want to know sort of what lights you up, and when you find what lights you up, how do you incorporate that into your life? So what does that look like for you?
So I'm really inspired by adventure and seeing things that I haven't seen before. And that can be architecturally, whether it's the pyramids or Machu Picchu or the Eiffel Tower, anything that's like architecturally inspiring, I'm really interested in. My biggest pull at the moment is sunsets on water.
Oh, yeah.
I'm obsessed with watching the sunset on the water. And we haven't had that, we don't have that in Munich, obviously. And the next incantation that's on the very, very short list of the things that the next place has to have. And I'm always like to hear people's travel stories. You know, when I was younger, I was jealous of their stories, and I was like, I don't want to hear about you traveling, and I did it. But now I'm like, tell me, where did you go, and what did you see, and what did you eat, and what were the people like, and I put that kind of into my memory bank for my next adventure. And I have a board, right? You can't see it because it's behind you, but I have a little board with a bunch of places stuck on it, and you know, just sits there, and I look at it from time to time.
Nice. And so you're from New Zealand originally. What made you decide that you wanted to move away from New Zealand? I'm guessing it was the adventure. And where did you go?
Yeah, look, New Zealanders, we do this rite of passage called your Great Overseas Experience, right? Your OE, we call it. And most people go to London, work in a pub, you know, travel around Europe for a year and go home. So I started mine a little bit later. When everybody else did that sort of between school and university or at the end of university, I was just in a different place in my life. So I started once I had set my career as a teacher up. And I I was going to London, and I had a 6-month ticket. And it was cute because my brother was in India and going to China, and I was in New Zealand and going to England. And so we met in Hong Kong. Yep. My first big overseas stop was meeting my brother with my dad and my uncle. We all went to Hong Kong for a few days together.
Wow. Culture shock for you.
Yeah. Really different to New Zealand, like just so many people and such skinny sidewalks and tall buildings and you know, nothing on ground level. If you want to find a restaurant, they're all 3 or 4 stories up, sort of.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, it was interesting, and my brother, having come from India, was in a completely different headspace.
Yeah.
And then I came to Europe, and my 6-month ticket ended up being 4.5 years.
Yeah.
And I stayed, and I moved around, and I've chased the sun, and I met beautiful people who were like, well, we're going here next. Where are you going? And I'm coming with you. you
Yeah.
know, and it just sort of snowballed into this much longer excursion than it was ever meant to be. And I went home for a couple of years and then went away again, went to Singapore for 3 years and then went to Thailand for 3 years and then came to Europe and then went home and then came back to Europe and scratch itchy feet.
Yeah.
Itchy feet. And you know, the naysayers would say there's something that I'm running from, and it's just not true. I'm running towards something.
Not all who wander
I'm
alone.
running towards the best version of me, the most exciting. Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, I'm happy to wander and to see where the wind blows and what shows up next.
Yeah. But I think that travel and being away brings out the best version of you, you know? It's not that you're looking for a different version. This is the best version, you know, that lights you up, and you can see it in your face when you talk about traveling and living overseas. Your whole personality lights up, you know? So I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm very reluctant to be on the kind of wheel, the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And that's possibly my biggest motivator.
Yeah. I'm a little bit the same. I don't want the white picket fence life. That's not to say that I don't want the house and other things, but it's just that I don't want to be the same as, you know, the person who goes to 9 to 5 and that's what they do for the rest of their life, you know? So I totally get it.
And full power to them if that's like empowering for them and they're loving life, then full power to them. Yeah. But it's just not my pathway.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing is, it's all about all of us finding what lights us up. And if that's what lights you up, then that's amazing. But if it's not, then that's okay too. Like, go and find what it is that it is.
Yeah.
Does light you up, you know? So I think that's the most important thing that we can all do. Because then if we're all doing
and well, you know, for you, sorry.
No, I was just saying, if we all do what makes us happy, then we'll all be happier people. And that's, you know, everyone's going to have a better life.
Isn't that the aim of life, to be the happiest person you can be?
Yep. Exactly. So I guess saying that now, you're in the one spot. So how do you incorporate that adventure, I guess, into your normal life? I mean, I know that you have your business. You have an amazing business called Wolf and Dragon, and you upcycle furniture, which is just amazing. I think you have some very, very cool pieces, which I love. So I guess, is that one of the ways that you do it now, because you're in the one place and you're not moving around?
Yeah, keeping something creative happening is really important.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I have a vegetable garden, which, you know, I like to try and grow as many things as I can, but I'm not attached to the outcome of that. If they die, they die. If they live, they live, you know. Yes, I have Wolf and Dragon, and we are creating beautiful things for people. But I think for me, we are always adventuring. So we have our next big trip is always in the back of our mind.
Yeah.
And New Zealand. And also on a kind of weekly basis, we do adventures. We have date night, like Thursday night, date night. And each week one of us chooses somewhere we've never been before and surprises the other person with it. And this is somehow kind of like a little mini adventure, you know? Yeah. So there's always something to look forward to. And I used to suffer hideously from the post-holiday blues. Mm-hmm. So come home from a vacation just in tears and be like, and then you realize, like, then if I've got something else to look forward to, then I don't get that so badly.
Yeah.
And also, you know, if you're living the life that you're inspired by or that lights you up on a regular basis, you don't get so depressed coming back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you've got something to look forward to that you're working towards, you're not stagnant in the present moment or looking backwards. You're looking forwards about what's next. You know, I'm grateful for what I've done and what we've had, but now I want something else. What's next? And your focus is going forward, and what you focus on grows. So, you know, it follows your intention. So I think it's great when you have another plan so that you're not stuck in that moment.
Yeah, that's right. And then you end up this year I've ended up having incredible trips because,
Yeah.
For a while, of course, Europe was locked down and we couldn't do a lot of things, but we still managed to go to Venice when it was completely empty and stand in Plaza San Marco with nobody there. Like, just an absolute solid memory.
Yeah.
And I've been to Venice multiple times, but this was by far the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have that photo plastered on my wall.
Right. It's from a we took a photo from the webcam from the top of Plaza San Marco, and it's me in the middle of the square doing this, and nobody else around. But because it's a webcam, it's not very high quality, but
still a good story.
It's burnt in my mind, like I will never forget this moment.
Yeah. And that, for me, that's what life is made up of, all these memories. Collect moments, not things. You've got all these amazing memories and stories that no one can ever take away from you.
That's exactly right. Somebody asked me once, what would you take if your house was on fire? And I was like, my photos.
Yeah.
Back when I had photos, now you just take your phone, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Just grab your phone and run.
Yeah. So what would you say? I mean, I think I can guess it from this conversation, but what would you say is one thing that you think everybody should do at least once in their lives?
I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Work in the service industry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was expecting that.
Everybody should work in a bar or a restaurant, because then you have so much more compassion for what it is to stand on your feet for 12 hours a day serving people who are grumpy and drunk.
Okay, I was not expecting that answer. That's great. I understand that. Yeah.
My other answer, I had two answers. My other answer was that somewhere where you can't understand what people are saying to you at least once.
Sorry, say that one again. I missed it.
Yeah. So I wrote down two answers for this question, and the other one was, at least once in your life, live somewhere where you can't understand what anybody is saying around you.
Oh, yes.
It's a very humbling experience.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, I've done that many times.
Like when you can't communicate.
Yes.
You can't communicate. You have to struggle. It's so humbling, and I think it makes me more resilient and being more kind to people who are coming the other direction.
Yes.
Whose English maybe isn't so great, and who are really trying to communicate with me in a language that they don't speak.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a great quote. I can't remember it word for word, but something like people who speak another language is a sign of bravery or something, because obviously they've gone to do something that's not in their own language. I think
speaking with an accent. Yeah.
That's it, speaking with an accent. Yeah, exactly. Yes. But both of those are great. Really give you a definitely the service industry especially would give you another side of things. So my next question to you would be, I
think the outcome of both of them is the same. It's kindness.
Yes, what the world needs more of. So my next question to you would be, what would be sort of 3 pieces of advice that you would tell other people who wanted to maybe pick up and travel or move overseas, but maybe thought, oh, I can't do that. That's not for me, but I'd really love to.
Say yes.
Yes.
Every time somebody says to you, do you want to do this? Say yes.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if they're not people that you want to be lifelong friends with, or it's not, or if it's a restaurant you've been to before, or if you're not really that interested, just go, because you just don't know where that ends up. And it's much better than sitting home watching TV and by yourself.
Yes.
So say yes to all opportunities. Learn a little bit of every language. Hello and thank you. Gets you such a long way. I can remember in Thailand, my mum was shopping for she came to visit, and she was shopping for a trolley bag. And we went into a shop, and the people didn't know me in the shop, and they put a price on this bag. And then I started asking them in Thai, well, isn't the weather so hot today? You know, and instantly the price was a third on this trolley bag.
Yeah.
You know, so just the appreciation of making an attempt to speak in the language is really important.
Yeah.
Even if you butcher it and sound ridiculous and whatever.
Because
especially in the
intention
culture,
behind it. It's the intention behind it. It's not the words that you say. It's the fact that you made an effort to communicate with someone else in their own language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody appreciates that, right? Especially languages that are only spoken in that one place by a small amount of people.
Yeah.
And my third piece of advice is eat all the food. Try, the heart of a culture is in the meals that they prepare and how they eat together.
Yeah.
And I think that's.
Yeah.
Can I say a fourth one? Because I think my fourth one is just do it. Just go.
Yeah.
Be scared and be afraid and have nightmares, but just go.
Yeah. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
You'll thank yourself for that later.
Yeah. Again, it's the saying yes and having all these amazing experiences that you would never have had before. I remember when I was thinking about going overseas and somebody said to me, you'll never regret going, but you'll always regret staying. And I was like, and it's so true. Like, not every experience that you have is going to be amazing, but not every experience you have at home is going to be amazing. So it's just having the courage to leap and to try it. And that saying yes thing is just such a great start.
I think so. And I think if you stay in one place, you are pretty sure you know where your life ends up and how things go week by week. And if you take the leap, you don't have any idea what next week is going to be like. You know, you meet somebody on the road and they say, we're going here, and you go with them and you have this crazy experience that you would never have had otherwise.
Yeah. Totally agree. So what's next on your sort of manifesting list? What have you got sort of bubbling away in your brain to happen next for you?
I have a dream to have a piece of land in somewhere warm, like the south of Italy, with a view of the sea and a garden big enough to eat for myself and my partner for the whole year. And
a guest bedroom.
Many guest bedrooms.
Yes, I hope so. Well, look, I'm happy to go anywhere where it's warm and see you.
Exactly. You are welcome at any time.
Okay, what last questions have I got for you? What would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Oh, just get into it. Don't give yourself a hard time. Just go. Just live your best life. Be your best you. Just embrace everything. Have a crack. You know, you have nothing to lose.
It's so much easier to say as you get older, isn't it? And you look back and you think, what was I so worried about? Honestly, what was I so worried about? It's crazy.
I was so conservative at 18, you know, like I was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of going, okay, I need to get a job and I need to think about my future and I need to be on this pathway. And now I would just be like, Angela, your path is not this path.
Yep.
Just go where the happiness is.
Yeah. Follow bubbles of happiness. Can you tell me?
There are unicorns and rainbows on the way. It's good.
Yeah, of course. To wrap it up, can you tell me one thing that you are loving right now? Anything?
Right now, I am loving the colours of the autumn trees around the lakes in Bayern.
Nice. Before
it's
it gets
really pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, before it gets too cold.
Yeah, and then all the leaves will disappear.
At the moment, actually, it's very strange. I have sunflowers blooming in my garden, and all of the trees are yellow and losing their leaves. It's like this kind of weird late spring thing that happened, messing with nature.
Nice. Are you still doing your win of the day? Angela was the one who taught me win of the day. So can I ask you, what's your win? I mean, it's only early there, I think, but what was your win of yesterday then?
Yeah. Oh, my win of yesterday was, no, listen, I just had the best day yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like this, I felt very, very happy yesterday. I've been sick for a little while. I've had this long cold, and I think I've finally come out of it. And I met some girlfriends for lunch in a cafe that had couches, and we sat there and talked rubbish for a long time. And then I took my MacBook in to get fixed, and it's only going to cost €150. And then I met my partner, and we went for a glass of wine, and then we went for a Thai massage, and then we had dumplings. And it was just like literally such a beautiful day.
Oh, nice. Sounds perfect.
I realized I missed going to cafes and just sitting in cafes.
I see this in your...
I hadn't picked that up since very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. Isn't it funny when you can do just one or two little things, it just makes your whole day. When you go, I just love doing that, so I'm just going to go and do that today, and then your whole day changes.
Yep. Sitting in a cafe with a chai latte.
Yeah.
Just the best.
Nice. Oh, and my final question to you would be 3 words that describe you. We used to use this on job interviews, so I love this question.
Yeah. Try anything once.
That's a lot of words.
Try anything once.
Okay.
Okay, you want 3 separate words.
That's okay. I'll happily accept that. Try anything once. Okay. I think that definitely sums you up.
Oh, good.
Okay, so if people want to follow your journey, you have a couple of different presences online, I guess. Do you want to let everybody know where they can find you?
Yes. Instagram is the easiest place to find me, and the one that I keep up to date with most often. Wolf and Dragon, all one word, is my upcycling business, and my personal blog is A Third Culture Adult. So it's an A and then the number 3 RD Culture Adult, all one word. We might have to type that.
I'll put that in somewhere.
It's not easy.
It's a bit tricky.
It's a little bit tricky. And so that's my photos and from my daily life, and it links to my writing whenever I can be bothered writing.
Yes. Nice. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will leave you.
Thank you.
Full autumn day. And thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon. And thank you everybody for joining Angela and I today. And I'll be back with you soon for another interview with somebody who has created a life that they love. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.